Everyone, how's everyone doing here today? Well, as you all have heard, we are into another impeachment inquiry. Who would have guessed? The GOP of all people? Nah, they're too busy doing their jobs, trying to pass bills to help the American people. Yeah, what am I kidding? We're talking about Mike Johnson here, who I've commented on before what a, anti-religious freak of nature that guy is. So this is what, the third impeachment inquiry? I mean, technically, yes, if you count the one Marjorie Taylor Greene did. She wanted to impeach Joe Biden on like day one. Could you imagine starting a new job and then, on your very first day, showing up on time in the proper dress code and talking to your supervisor and going through all the tests you're having to do and actually starting to do it and establish yourself, and then out of the blue, some lunatic supervisor comes up to you and says, oh, by the way, I'm going to write you up on disciplinary charges. And you think, why? What did I do? I don't know. But we're going to write you up anyway because, just because. That's what this whole thing is all about. This is, in fact, indeed a witch hunt. And, projections from the GOP about, crimes that they can't even name. We've seen with this recent effort in the news that Mike Johnson agreed to go through with it, and yet many have asked, what are the specific charges? What is the evidence? And they've got none. Well, we're doing the inquiry to find evidence. I could talk about two instances of another president who was impeached because he actually made a phone call asking for to look into, to investigate a political opponent because, nothing spells a free and fair election than trying to get interference from a foreign government. But hey, that doesn't count as evidence. And then we have an insurrection, an actual attempt to overthrow our democracy, which we have a speech, and it turns out evidence is starting to surface with fake electors. But we're not interested in evidence or facts or anything like that. We just want to impeach Joe Biden. Why? Because their dumb Donald got impeached twice, so they got to try and even up the score. This way, come 2024, when Donald Trump runs, or if his legal woes don't get the best of him, they can say, hey, look, Joe Biden got impeached. But they have no evidence, they have no case, they have nothing. As opposed to, say, 4 indictments and 91 criminal charges, which actually does outline a specific crimes, and actually does have evidence, and more we're seeing evidence going on. I don't know where those trials are going to go yet. Like I said before, I'm not going to speculate. But you know what I say? Let him do an impeachment inquiry. You know who's the one person who doesn't complain about it or really bring it up? Yeah, you guessed it. That would be Joe Biden himself. Not that I've heard. Why? Because unlike the rest of these knuckleheads, he's focused on doing his job. And he can actually list accomplishments. Don't take my word for it. Take Chip Roy's word for it, who screamed on the GOP floor. Name one thing, or one bill, or one law that, the GOP has recently passed. And all you hear is a bunch of crickets and people sitting there like, I don't know. Because they're too busy sitting there with their dicks in their hand like, oh yeah, we're going to impeach the president because, well, just because. Can't think of a reason, but it doesn't matter, Who needs facts when you got feelings? But then again, nobody cares about your feelings coming from that party. So you know what I say? Let them go through the impeachment inquiry. AOC will probably be there again, like she was the previous time, where she asked them point blank, do you guys have any evidence? And they're all like, no. They flat out said no. And you're seeing all recent on the media with Fox and everything, where some of them are just like, well, we want Trump in 2024. Yeah, because they got nothing. They got no evidence. They don't even have any specific charges other than the Biden crime family, this and that, and Hunter Biden. Yeah, Hunter Biden has been indicted. And there are charges being brought against him. And I'm all for that as far as accountability goes. But time and time again, they can't link anything between him and his father, other than Joe being a good father. And having a son who has a few issues. Wow. Looks like he's not the only one who's got kids that have a few issues. I can name some examples, but you guys aren't interested in that. Because we want the two-tier justice system. Oh yeah, there is a two-tier justice system. Just not quite the way they want. They want to be able to weaponize the DOJ. And now I know some are going to make the argument, that's what Joe Biden's doing. No, that's the DOJ doing their job, actually going after criminals and pressing charges with evidence as opposed to inquiries with little or nothing to go by other than, well, I have a feeling, or all these bank records, this and that. Yes, Gomer's going to scream out all the stuff about bank records and everything and stuff for no reason to muddy the waters. And just like Donald Trump said, you keep repeating the lies, they keep believing it. Yeah, well, I don't believe it. Because I keep saying, people saying, Show me the evidence, and they got nothing. They got not a thing. They never did. They never will. So go forward with this impeachment inquiry. Let them embarrass themselves. Let Mike Johnson make a fool of himself, as he hasn't done so enough already. Okay, with some of his ridiculous behavior and his lies. Let them embarrass themselves yet again, okay? So, like I said, if you include Marjorie Taylor Greene, then they'll be 0 for 3 instead of 0 for 2. But you know what? I'm sure that'll look good on the campaign trail. Yeah, we're trying to impeach Joe Biden. We just haven't gotten to it yet, but don't worry. It's on our things to do list. Meanwhile, World War III, world crumbling, and all this other stuff. Dogs and cats living together, and the impeachment inquiry. Good job, GOP. You're just continuing to make bigger fools of yourselves than you already have. Gotta love it. Oh, man. If I was a Republican politician, I'd be so embarrassed right now. But hey, what do I know? I'm just the liberal snowflake, anyway. Thank you for watching. I really hope you understand. Impeach on day one. You gotta love it. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't, so...